Okay, my friends, here it is. This Monday morning live stream at the Thrive Like a Viking headquarters. And yes, I'm wearing this coat because I want to tell you about it. So we're going to get into some different topics today. We're going to do the meditation. I want to see where everybody is. Well, you're one step ahead of me, actually. Everyone is saying where they're from. So if you're watching this after the fact, make sure that you let us know where you're viewing from. Graham Devine is from sunny Ireland. All right. Let's see here. Spawn Viking Grow. Good morning, tribe. Carol Fago says good morning from snowy Ontario. Yes. Let's see here. Greetings from Decatur, Miss KC. Decatur what? Is that Decatur, Indiana? Decatur, Illinois? Decatur, Georgia? Where is it? Let's see here. Okay, guys. Pam from South Africa. Yes. Hello. Sam Patsik. That shower water is getting cold. Ooh, yeah. There's no joke. Guys, it's cold now. It is quite cold. Okay. And we just put up the sauna yesterday. So I'm going to tell you guys about the experience. It is so wonderful. Yes. Brian Erie, hello from Chile, southwestern Kansas. Southwestern. Okay, yes. So is that the plains? Is that like the wide open spaces? Good morning, Gary Taproot. Good to see you. Yes. Spencer, good morning, everyone. Yes, Fort Wayne. Yes, it's a good place. Decatur, Georgia. Okay, yes, Miss Casey, Decatur, Georgia. Let's see here. Jerry Bates says, I used the practices on my outspoken relative at Thanksgiving and focused on a bit of food stuck to the end of his nose. Very offensive rant. Ooh, yes. Outspoken relative at Thanksgiving. That is a kind way to put it. Definitely. Guys, do you, if you have listened to the spiritual stuff in the past, you will remember Baba Ram Das. Yes, and he said, there was a quote from him that I remember hearing. He said, so the moment you think you're so enlightened, try spending a week living with your parents. Yes, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. You think you're so enlightened, try spending a week with your parents. And there's so much to that. It's funny because we can all relate to that, especially with the holidays and stuff. It's especially people that are on spiritual paths or that are on journeys, of self improvement and things. We often can think that we are so advanced, but then we will go into the places that have all of the triggers, all of the things that made us the way that we were. And so we'll see all these people from our past. They'll be talking in a certain way. They'll still be talking to you as if you were the same person, even though you're a totally different incarnation now. But they don't know that. They don't really. To them, you're just the same cousin or the same son or brother or person that you've always been, and they talk to you like you've always been. And so things can bring up, some stuff that maybe you haven't resolved within yourself. Yes. So it can be a wonderful experience, family for the holidays, definitely. So Aaron Johnson says, good morning. It was 17 degrees Fahrenheit here in Kentucky last night. Oh, yeah. Cold here as well, no doubt. VA Green, good morning. Lucia, how do I say this name, my friend? Is it Lucia, or Lucia? Lucia Bora. Says, hello, Nate and everyone here in the Netherlands. Almost evening and almost dark. A bit cold. Yeah, it gets so dark early now. So dark early. VA Green says, my ego mind is wanting to give you a hard time about that coat. Yes. Why is that? Why is that? Observe within. I thought I was going to be able to wear it during the broadcast, but I'm already sweating. So it's, guys, this coat, I had one many years ago that I found in a thrift shop in San Francisco. And it is 100% sheepskin, but it got stolen from me in a, I used to be into like unhealthy practices, we'll say. And it got stolen from me one time. And I've been looking for one for years ever since because I love it. It's just sheepskin. That's it. And this one is vintage from the 70s. And so I just wasn't questioning, but I got onto Facebook Marketplace yesterday, even though I don't need anything. I got on there and this thing popped up and it had just been posted an hour ago. I thought, what? And so I clicked on it and it's literally 4 minutes down the road. And these, if you buy them new, are like $1,200, but the guy wanted $100 for it. It was his dad's, who is dead now. You see, there's a couple. I guess his dad was a big guy, so his nickname is Bear. So there's a couple little bear buttons on here. The guy didn't want the button. He was like, no, I don't want them. But okay. But I just think it's super cool. So I just inherited this coat yesterday. And he was like, I just want to make sure it goes to someone that'll appreciate it. I was like, man, you hit the jackpot there, because I will wear this coat and appreciate it like you can't believe. And it's just a huge, look how big it is. It's way too big. I mean, it's kind of big for me, but it's a tall, look. You see how big? Yes. So I'm absolutely loving it. And that is just how things come into my life now. I'm not searching for them. It just kind of happens. And then it just happens to be down the road, and it happens to be for a really, really good price. And it happens to be just too big, which is how I like it, so that I can wear stuff under it as well. So that is the story on that. And that's why it's people, some people in the spiritual circle can say, oh, manifesting, yes, you manifested that. But really, I've just been seeing images of me in this coat for some time now, the past year or so. But it's all happening in the now. It just is all happening in the now. So it popped up and it was perfect, fit perfect. The story is perfect with it. The price was perfect. It was a win-win. And so it's just a great experience. And now I've got this coat, and I love coats. For some reason, I just love coats. So does anybody know how to refurbish shearling? I mean, this is pure, untreated sheepskin from the 70s. So it's kind of old. No offense, anybody from the 70s, but this garment needs refreshed. It's they just take the coat and they just shear off the fur, and then here's the outside. So does anyone know how to refurbish this? Does anyone know how to refurbish this properly? And yes, I can Google it and all of that, and I can chat GPT it, and they tell you all kinds of things, but does anyone have personal experience with it? Because I'm gonna love this thing for a long time. Exactly how it's meant to be. It's gonna be very useful in my life. So I was gonna wear it during the whole broadcast, but there's no way, because it's a little bit hot. So we're just gonna set it back here. Okay. Like that. All right. So guys, let us get into the meditation. Okay. I just wanted to let you know about that. And okay, good. Lucia says, you say it good. It's Lucia. Okay. Yes. Thank you. So guys, let's get into the meditation. Okay. Let's stop whatever you're doing and drop into the meditative state of mind. Straighten the spine. And let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Last one. Fill the lungs deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. Let it go. As you exhale, feel the deep sense of relaxation that comes over the body. Empty the mind. There's no need to think of anything in particular right now. These brief meditations are like a vacation for the mind. They can be. Just empty the mind. Bring your awareness to the inner energy field that pervades the body. If you've been practicing for some time now, this has become very easy for you, and already you are inhabiting the body, inhabiting the now. The body is the now. You can rest your attention in the sensation of aliveness, the sensation of electrical current that is pervading your body, but also extends beyond your body. Remain with this wonderful sensation. If you find it difficult to rest your attention completely in the inner energy field of the body, then you can rest it on the breathing. The breathing is where we start. If your mind is very active, just anchor it to the sensation of air as it flows into the body and out of the body. A subtle sensation around the nostrils. Breathing in, I am fully aware that I am breathing in. I am aware of the sensation of air flowing into the body. I am aware of the chest expanding, the subtle sensation of the shirt as it moves across my chest hairs. I'm aware of the sensation of feeling full of air and charged. I'm aware of the air falling out of the body, the chest descending. Simultaneously, I am also aware. Simultaneously, I am also aware of the feeling of electrical current moving throughout the body. If you don't yet know what I mean, you can begin with the hands. Bring your attention to the hands. Face them upwards, like this. And rest them on your lap. And without looking at them or moving them, how do you know that your hands are still there? Relax them, don't move them, but go there with your mind. And feel the sense of life, the sense of potential that lie dormant in the human hands. Human hands are a marvelous thing. The potential to build beautiful works of art, build beautiful kingdoms. Also the potential to destroy and wreak havoc and bring misery. So much potentiality in the hands. Feel this. If your mind is active and it wanders away into thoughts or images or planning for the future, that's perfectly normal. Just bring the attention back. It's most helpful to bring it back by focusing on the breathing at first. A few good, strong breaths. And then you remain aware of the breathing, but also of everything else. The hands. And as your attention becomes stronger and more focused, you can branch out into the arms, the elbows, the shoulders. Eventually, you become aware of the entire body as a unified energy field. With a current of energy entering through the base of the spine, pulsating up the spine and out the head, the crown, extending several feet out, and circulating back in through the base of the spine, the root, back out. It is known as a toroidal energy sphere, toroidal energy field. This is how energy works in the universe. It is the same way that a tree processes energy. The roots draw the minerals into the tree and into the leaves. They store it for some time and then they drop the leaves to the ground where they decompose and become nutrients once again. They are uptaken into the leaves and the plant tissue, then they fall to the ground. Uptaken again, then they fall to the ground. This is also a toroidal energy field. You can feel this. At first, maybe you have to think about it, but don't try too hard. Just feel. And soon you will experience it directly. Let us take a few deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Last one, fill the lungs. Hold. Let it go. Remember, with the meditation practice, Frequency and consistency is far more important than duration. When I was teaching meditation at the Indiana Buddhist Temple, I had a lot of exposure to people who would only come to the Thursday night meditation or to the Monday night meditation. And that would be the only time that they meditate. And it would be for an hour straight, an hour. And then they would go out into their day-to-day life and think, okay, well, I meditated for a full hour, so I'm good for several days. They actually didn't advance that quickly. If you want to call it advance, remember, everything is a paradox. All the words that we're using they have meaning, but they're also totally meaningless. It's a paradox. That is the human condition. So advance, we can say advance, and I would see this. But the people that would make meditation a foundational part of their life, meaning they would do exactly what we just did, basically, for 10 minutes a day, or even 5 minutes, but every day, or even 2 or 3 minutes twice a day, they really saw the transformation a lot faster. It comes into your life, it implements into your life so much greater and more completely than just doing it once a week for a long time. Yes. Hello, Silver Sage. So, Taida says, love that coat. Love the story. Automatic manifesting. When life feels like this, I feel like it's a sign we are living the life we are meant to. Yes. Yes, absolutely. It is that we have gotten out of the way. We have finally gotten out of the way. At first, manifesting seems like something I'm doing. Like, wow, look at the powers that I have. Wow. But then after the awakening process and the contracted energy that I thought was who I am dissolves back in to the all that is, the source of being. And then you realize I wasn't doing anything. I don't have the power to do anything. There is only the infinite creative potential of the universe, the ultimate power. And so when you get out of the way, then everything just happens. People come into your life that enrich your life. Life becomes very helpful instead of a big struggle where everything is constantly, why is it always happening to me? And I never seem, all the good things seem to happen to everybody else. This is the life that you're creating through your thought process and through your attention, because energy flows where attention goes. And so it's the things that you focus on. And so when we get out of the way, we realize that the whole time, life was manifesting our perfect awakening. We just didn't realize it. We just weren't listening. We just thought that it's got to be a different way. You have to not worry about the way. You just set the goal, do the visioneering. If you've followed this channel, you know what visioneering is. Do the visioneering, set the image, hold it in the mind, and do not give a second thought about the how it's going to happen. Because that part's not up to you. That part is up to the universe, we can say. That part is up to the universe, which the universe is not something out there that is separate. It's not a separate force that is working on you. You are the creative force of the universe. There's not two. There's never been two or a multiplicity of anything. There's only ever been the one. And it's inescapable, and it's infinite love, and it's all around, and it's pure satisfaction. It's everywhere. It's everything. Inescapable. And so you realize that life has already been manifesting what you need for your greatest awakening. But you're thinking, no, that's not what I want. That's not how I wanted it to happen. It's because the ego mind gets in there and says, but it should be a different way. Life should be a different way. So you're living in resistance to life. You're living in resistance to the reality of what is. Think about this, guys. The now is unavoidable. The now is unavoidable because by the time it's here, it's already happened. Do you understand this? Do you understand the immense implications of that? The now is always unavoidable because it's already here. So only in our mind do we think that we have this kind of control over little things when already life is presenting to you the now and you're observing the now. And it's perfectly neutral all the time. And so the degree of peace that you will feel in your life is the degree to which you step out of the way. And when I say you, I mean the you that you think you are, the you that pays your bills and that has friends and that has problems and that has a that's getting older. Oh, I'm getting older now, so life's not. I can't do what I used to do and all that kind of stuff. That's all a fictitious entity. That's all a dream. That's all like a ghost, a phantom. That is a phantom. That is convincing you that it's real. So the awakening process is the realization that the phantom is just that. It's a phantom. And I don't have a life. As Eckhart Tolle says, you don't have a life. You are life. That is the ultimate realization. You don't have a life. What am I going to do with my life? What's happening with my life's not turned out the way I want it to be. Doesn't matter if you're 20 years old or if you're 90 years old. The now is the same, and you can start living. But if you're 90 years old, there can be a storyline that is, I've wasted my life. Oh no, I've wasted my life. I've been asleep my entire life. Now, and then there's a whole storyline around that. All the things I could have done differently if I was awake and I realized that I am already free and that the whole process of life, all my yearnings were seeking freedom. They were seeking a sense of ultimate freedom. I just wanted to be free. But now you realize you always were free. You are free right now. You are wild and free right now. That's the only way you've ever been, other than the illusion that you were confined in some way, that you're a victim in some way, that you're all these self-identifications. Yes. Also for young people, there can be for the old people, there can be a burden of the past. All these things I wish I would have done differently or that didn't work out for me or that a life, I would have done this different. I would have said that to her. Maybe I would have had this partner, this ideal partner, and then we would have had kids and then life would have been all beautiful. Yada, yada, yada. You're going down a big storyline. Let go. Let go and realize your timeless, immortal self. That is a burden of the past that a lot of older people carry, but also younger people can carry a burden of the future. They can say, oh boy, okay, so what do I want to be in life? I don't know. I made myself sick with this when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I made myself sick with the what am I going to be? What do I want to do with my life? I went to college and I was trying these different majors and stuff. And it's like, how does everybody know what they want to be? This guy, well, I'm going to be a mechanical engineer and then I'm going to go and work for blah, 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 this people. And I'm like, man, that must be nice to just know what you are, what you're going to be. But I was just like I was racking my brain. Like, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to be? Gosh, it was the burden of the future. I had so much future ahead of me in my mind, of course. There is no future. You've never had a future. There's only now, infinite, timeless. In my mind, gosh, what am I going to be with it? What am I going to do with my life? And so then it made me like sick with worry. And so I started working at this factory because the money was good. And I quit college and I was like, oh man. And then all these people at the factory, they're like, hey, you got in here. You're lucky. This is a great job. You'll be like me. I've been here 35 years. And I was like, 35 years, and they're like this. They're, hey, I've been here 35 years. And they walk like this through the factory. Just super defeated looking. Okay, not everybody, but, and don't, if you work in a factory for 35 years, don't take offense to this. This is how my 20-year-old self felt, and I was like, oh my goodness. So then I got so overloaded where I was like, all right, just forget it. I'm just gonna live my life. How about that? And so I quit that job, sold everything I had, bought a one-way ticket to Sri Lanka, and traveled for 10 years straight. And never gave a second thought about, what do I want to be? What am I going to do with my life? I'm just going to live. I'm just going to live. And so that burden was lifted. And then there's like series of awakenings, which are really nothing. They're just layers of an onion just dissolving, going away. That's all it is. It's not like there's some thing out here that's called awakening that I have to get somehow. You're already awake. You're not realizing it. You just think that everything is real here, but this is a dream. So, Val says, I've been getting in the way for a few weeks now, slipping into my old ego ways. Don't like it. Yes, I understand that. I absolutely understand that. So in the realizing of that is the freedom. So you realize, okay, I'm slipping into the old ways, which of course is not you. The ultimate you is always pristine, pure, infinitely awake. It's the same infinite energy that's looking through my eyes. You're speaking to yourself right now. You're listening to yourself ultimately right now. So the slipping into my old ego ways and don't like it. Absolutely. And that can be a whirlpool for some spiritual practitioners, seekers, we can call it, where they will say, oh man, so they'll be meditating and they'll be doing the cold training and they'll be feeling good in life. Definitely, no doubt. But then something will happen and they'll be like, they'll revert to their old habit patterns and they'll think, oh man, I thought I was progressing, but now here I am totally inundated with the commentator in the head, the ego mind. Oh man. And then it compounds upon itself. Yes? So the ego is very tricky. It can come in the back door. There's lots of back doors. And so we just have to observe. Just observe. How do you do that? Here and now. You take 3 deep conscious breaths and you come to the inner energy field and you observe. You just observe. You step out of the storyline. Most people are in a monologue that they think is a dialogue with themselves, and it's never ending. It goes from one thought, one comment, right to the next, right to the next, right to the next. And it's never ending. And most people in their unexamined state don't even realize that there is the commentator in the head that is pulling the levers and moving the gears of their life. Only when you begin to observe do you see, whoa. There's this speaking in my head all the time. Who is it speaking? Where is it coming from? If who is it speaking, who's it listening? Or is it are there two separate people? When you're talking to yourself in your head, who is speaking and who is listening? So surely there's 2, right? Or, I mean, again, like we did a couple of weeks ago, when you examine the workings of the mind, it all just falls apart. It all just falls apart. And you see that there's nothing but freedom already. So digest that, play with that for a while. Once you become aware enough to observe in your mind that there is a commentator, okay, who is listening? Where is this entity? Is it me? Or am I the commentator? Or am I both, which means I'm neither? Which it gets tricky. You have to find out for yourself. So Sam Potzik says, this is the cycle I keep getting caught up in, and dropping in to the meditation indeed will help me step back, like hitting a pause button. Yes, that's what's important. Hitting the pause button. So whoop. Even just do the 3 breaths. And if you practice enough, you will condition your body. I mean, when I do that right now, straight away, I feel boom. I feel the heat. I feel the energy field. I feel dropped in right away because I've practiced for some time. So, yeah, Graham Devine says, working in a factory is a nightmare. I did it for 3 years, then fled to Holland. I couldn't take it anymore. I just said, whatever happens, it couldn't possibly be worse than this place. Yeah, I got to the same place. I got to the same kind of place. Although, come to find out many years later, it can get worse. So much worse. Unimaginably worse, actually. Unimaginably worse. To the point that still gives me shivers, even reflecting upon that. So, yes, what's up, Leland? Good to see you here, my friend. Says, been working extra and we'll be doing extra breathing today. Yes. Silver Sage, it's the government. They keep sending out all this chatter. LOL. Yeah, no, we LOL at that, but many people do think that. And that is part of the, remember we talked about synchronicities a few weeks ago. A lot of people will take things that are happening and fabricate a dramatic storyline around it when it's their own ego mind. It's their own ego mind. So now, a couple of other things that I wanted to talk about. One is that we set up the sauna yesterday, guys. So I had my first sauna for the first time yesterday. My first real sauna of the year. Okay, so let me just show you real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, so here's a time lapse. Look at the garden. Look back there at the garden. Is that not awesome or what? It's going to be an incredible gardening year. So we're putting up the sauna now. It's a sauna tent, and there's a wood stove that goes inside of it. And we set up the benches. We set up all the stuff. Now, let me go ahead and show you the... okay, and then... Check it out. Just got the sauna set back up. That's the inside. You see it? Got the benches all set up, the lighting, the wood. Got the benches, lighting, wood. There's the stove. Got the steam generator. You see? Put water on the rocks and it sizzles down. Yes, look at all that, guys. This thing is amazing, okay? I cannot recommend highly enough to get one, okay? Because it totally transforms the feeling of winter. It totally transforms the whole experience of winter. I mean, it used to be like, oh man, 6 months where we can't grow anything. Oh, it's so cold all the time. This house is 100 years old. It's drafty, and the windows are 100 years old, and they rattle. They just sit in the little slots, and when the wind blows, you hear they just rattle because they have like a R factor of 0. I mean, you can just feel 10-degree Fahrenheit air gushing in, so it's just cold all the time in here. Now, with the sauna, though, it changes everything because you get blazing hot and all the heat shock proteins become activated in the body. Definitely. And so, and the vasodilation, yes, feels really good, the vasodilation, because the body is trying to cool down the blood. And so it opens up the blood vessels closest to the skin and it increases the heart rate and the blood circulation to try and cool off the blood in the same way that a radiator works. So it's trying to cool off everything. You're sweating profusely. And this has all sorts of physiological benefits for the body. Now, if you're interested in this kind of thing, I mean, I have a base level of knowledge of this, yes. But Dr. Susanna Soberg on Instagram is a very good one to follow for this. She is based in Denmark, and she really wrote the book. I mean, literally wrote the book Winter Swimming, which is all about cold and sauna therapy, contrast therapy. So I recommend that you get it. We're going to do several videos on this channel this year, really, about that, like actual videos, not just lives. So we will do several of those this year, but I just can't recommend highly enough. I mean, it's phenomenal. We've saunaed the past 2 nights in a row. And wow, I mean, my body has to build back up to it again, though, because it's intense. It's intense at first. And, but afterwards, you're singing. I mean, your body is just wow, 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 wow. It feels so amazing, and what it does for the immune system, everything, is you can feel it happening, endorphins and all that good stuff. So now the very next time we're going to add the ice bath. We're going to fill up the ice bath. It will be ready, and so we'll be doing rounds from the sauna, blazing hot for about 15 minutes, 2 minutes into the ice bath, and then back out into the blazing hot sauna for another 10, 15 minutes, back into the ice bath. We do 3 rounds of that. By the end of that, your bones are relaxed. I mean, it relaxes you down to the bones, down to the tendons. The joints feel just amazing. Everything just feels good. And this is what we want, of course. Why would you want anything other than that? That is wonderful health, wonderful wealth. Yes. So Sam says, that's so cool. Do you leave it up or take it down every time you use it? We leave it up all winter. That's why we had to wait until the garden is finished. You can see here, the garden is now finished and the beds are amazing. They turned out to be wonderful. I didn't have to bring in any of the soil or anything. We just shoveled it from the aisleways into the beds. And we use 2x10s. But see here, the tent it stays up. So I actually anchored it into the concrete. So there's permanent anchor, little screw holes into the concrete on each corner. And then I put down guy lines. And that keeps it so that it is, that keeps it so that it's nice. And I just want to show you guys one more time, just in case. But you can see here that, so I used cinder blocks and boards. The cinder blocks were where I grew the basil. I put them in a shape of a bed and then lined them with Visqueen and grew basil in there. And so now I took it down and we've got this wonderful stove. You pour water on those rocks and just immediately engulfs your whole body in this intense sense of warmness. We get this thing to at least 180 degrees Fahrenheit, many times 220. By the end, it's almost 220 degrees Fahrenheit, a couple of times 240 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty hot. So that has all sorts of benefits for the body. Now, so we will take it down in the springtime. Now, I do want to say that, so if you guys watch the Saturday live on the Garden Like a Viking channel, you will see that we had our first interview with Tony O'Neill from Simplified Gardening channel. It was awesome interview. I just really happy with it. The whole thing went well. And so now it's inspired me. I want to do more interviews. I want to do more interviews on that channel, definitely. We're going to do Gardener Scott. We're going to do David the Good. I want to try and get M.I. Gardner, although I don't see him doing much of that kind of stuff. But maybe Mark again on our own show, Mark Valencia, like we did a few weeks ago with the Urban Gardener. We'll get some other people onto the show. But on this channel, I want to start getting some people on as well. We can do a joint live stream. So if you feel like you've got something you want to say to the tribe, then email me. Let me know, and we can arrange it. we'll come up with a topic and stuff so that we can do a split screen, just like I did with Tony. So you'll need a microphone and a camera, obviously. And so just hit me up. It's all creative processing. So we can, if you've got something you feel like you want to say to the tribe, or like an area of expertise, cold training, kettlebells, sauna therapy, also just mindset, all around mindset, meditation. If there's things that if you want to be interviewed, let me know, and we can pretty much arrange that. If you feel like you've got like a topic, something you could specialize in, or if you do some kind of job that would be, even remotely relevant to this channel, this tribe, that would be cool. Yeah, we can do that. So just let me know. And I think that we will probably have one of our first ones will be Camille, my girlfriend. She will be on here, and we will discuss probably, I want her to give her experience for the first one, give her experience with the sauna and ice bath. She has a lot to say on the profound changes in her life due to the ice bathing. Yeah, and the mental fortitude that has come with that. She's also radically transformed her fitness level with the kettlebells. As her personal trainer, of course, she's made radical progress. I mean, insane progress in the past 6 months as far as kettlebell training. So she could definitely, and she used to go to the gym and do that kind of thing where you work out with the machines and some free weights and squats and stuff like that. But now she works out only with kettlebells, and we do it 3 days a week. And that is brought about some very significant changes in her physique and also in her overall fitness levels, because the kettlebells got you breathing hard. I mean, it can, if once you get to that level, you can push it, man, to where you're really feeling it. You see in this video, did you guys see in this video the cinder block? I'll just show you one more time. You see all these cinder blocks? Look at that. These cinder blocks are, you know how heavy those are, okay? Those are each stack is 8 high. All right, each stack is 8 high. She carried all of those in there and moved them while I was cutting the wood. She carried those in there and then had a kettlebell workout. I mean, that is kettlebell strength. Kettlebell workout gives you real world strength, carrying stuff, moving stuff, whatever the real world requires, kettlebells will give it to you. You don't separate the arms from the chest, from the back. You don't have a chest and a back day and then a leg day. You never separate the body. It's all total body all the time. And that is what the core gets strong and dense. The muscles get dense. You don't put on a lot of bulk. You don't put, especially as a woman, because you don't have much testosterone. So you're not going to gain bulk, but your muscles will get harder, and you'll get more toned and defined. And as a man as well, all depending on your diet and your goals, you definitely can put on some bulk, but it's more about like conditioning. The kettlebells will give you the conditioning of a fighter, something like that, military type. The Russian military trains extensively with kettlebells because it's an all-around way to bulletproof the body. Yeah. Not literal bulletproof, unfortunately, but nearly. Yeah. Val says, I want some kettlebell training. Yes, we should. Camille's at the point now I could film her, yes, because my brother is just about to create a home gym in the basement, and I'm helping him, of course. And my only request is that he makes the lighting in such a way that I can film fitness videos down there. So we will get some kettlebell videos because there'll be a mirror and, on the wall, and it'll be a proper gym. And so we will film some kettlebell training. So probably in the early 2025, in the next month or two, that will be finished and we can do those videos, because I've been doing the kettlebells solid now for 2 years. I was going to the gym before that, and I used to be into bodybuilding, of course. In my late teens, early 20s, I was into proper bodybuilding, and I was like 30 pounds heavier than I am now. And so I was personal training and stuff like that then, But once I found the kettlebells and committed to them, I'm never looking back. I'll never go to a gym again. I mean, unless it's for kettlebells or something. There's just no need for anything but the kettlebells. So, Spinster Mountain got a 15 and a 25-pound bell yesterday, finally. I used to do swings, just did a couple yesterday to check the weight, and I'm sore today. Yes, good. You can start with the kettlebell swing. Definitely. You can start with just the kettlebell swing. And if you're familiar with the Turkish get up, that's a wonderful thing to bulletproof the shoulders. I mean, really heals the shoulders big time. If you have any kind of shoulder issues, proper Turkish get ups will solve them. I mean, it's like a physical therapy / exercise. It's unbelievable. So the Turkish get ups are where it's at. But if you only do 2, do the swings, learn to do the swings and the clean and press. That's enough at first. The clean and press. Swings and clean and press. That's good enough for now. Yeah? Brian, absolutely. The future is bright, my friend. So Sam Potzik says, so true. You can feel it really work in the muscle groups instead of one set of muscles. Absolutely. And the body never works like that. When you're moving in your day-to-day life, there's so many different muscles involved. So if you're currently training bodybuilder style, which is like popular in all the magazines and all that stuff, only train bodybuilding type if you're a bodybuilder. If you specifically want bigger certain types of muscles, that's its own separate thing, which is fine if that's your goal. But anything other than that, if you want general all-around fitness and to feel good and to stop all those little aches and pains in the back and all those achy joints and that weak core, and if you want to stop all of that, kettlebells is where it's at, okay? So when I talk about this, it's for every one of you. It's for every one of you, all the way from the young men to the older ladies. Every one of you can benefit dramatically from properly learning the kettlebells in your life. So I'm going to make some videos on that here in the new year, and hopefully you guys get down with that. So yes. Now, Spawn Viking says, are the kettlebells good for someone with advanced arthritis in their right wrist? Now, I'm not sure what that means, advanced arthritis, and so, but generally, it's healing. Turkish get-ups and swings can be very healing. At first, it can benefit from getting the wrist guards, which I'll put in the videos and stuff like that, definitely. It can be beneficial, but just trying to keep that weight from cocking your elbow back or your wrist is really healing, is really beneficial to it. It gets all up in here. You want to work that stuff. That's how it heals, by working it. So, but you got to do it right. So we will have the videos about that here in the near future. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Spencer Mount says, I use a pair of old socks for wrist guards. That's pretty good. The ones you buy, they've got a piece of hardened plastic in the padded wrist guard, which is kind of like cheating. So I stopped using them after a while, but it's good at first. So Spinster Mountain says the 25 pounds is for swings, 15 for single arm press. I'll probably have to increase the swing bell eventually. Yeah. Well, and you can also do, once you get to it, once the core and everything is good, I mean, do several weeks and months of just the swings and the clean and press. And once you're really good with all that, you can do single arm swings. And that really changes things a lot. But there's no rush. There's no rush. Yeah, because it's a marathon. The thing that I realized, even at 39 now, is that this whole thing is not a sprint like I thought that it was for a long time. The whole thing is a marathon. It's a marathon. So you have to pace yourself, and you look to the future and say, okay, I'm doing this now because I feel that it is healing, that it will help to age more gracefully. Yeah, help to mitigate whatever happens. Yes. So yeah, if any of you guys want to get on here, you can let me know. and it's getting a little bit cold here right now. So hold on a second. Let me just put on my light jacket. This thing is enormous and wonderfully insulative. So, guys, if you think of anybody that we should get on the gardening channel, let me know. Okay, let me know and let them know as well. You can email them, because it's actually hard to get to a lot of these people that because they're like me, I'm sure, and they receive so many emails about things. Most of them kind of insignificant. Most of them just kind of like junk mail offers almost, as far as sponsorships and people wanting to edit your videos for you and all this kind of stuff, that when you try to email them, it just gets lost in the noise, and that happens. So if that happens to me and you guys have emailed me and I don't respond within a week, within 5 days or a week, then you can email me again. Just feel free. It's not a problem. So, Sam Potsick, Big Will Dog, yes, definitely we will. So I'm lining them up on the gardening channel for January, February, March, and April. Probably late January. So mostly February, March, April, and into May. And then we'll stop because the gardening season will be in full swing. But we'll probably do 2 a month. I want to try and arrange 2 a month. So we'll do every other, we'll do like one regular, one with somebody, one regular, one with somebody. Something like that would be cool. Yeah. I think it's time. I think it's time for all of that. Yeah. Yeah. Spencer Mountain says, yeah, going to slowly rebuild my gym again. I sold it all when I hit the road. Yeah. Fortunately, now with the kettlebells, you can dramatically simplify the home gym. Yeah. So, okay, guys, we got to get on with the day because we got so much things going on. So I really appreciate you guys being here. We had a good talk, good meditation, and have a wonderful week. And if you're doing shopping through Amazon for the holidays or whatever, use the links in the description. You go to the Viking storefront. I don't even know if I put the links in this description anymore. There we go. But use the go into Amazon through the Viking storefront. Yeah, so we can get that credit, because why let Amazon keep it all? Yeah. So, okay, guys. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say.